Good morning. The Pardon Board is called to order. It's Monday, January 27, 2025. The time is 9:05 a.m. My name is Cheryl Renatz. I'll be chairman today. Seated to my left is Mrs. Carolyn Stapleton, and to my immediate right is Mr. Steve Prater, and to his right is Mr. Pete Freeman. We are a four-member board today, so any action will require a unanimous vote. We are seated at DOC headquarters in Baton Rouge. I'd like for our staff to introduce themselves for the record.
Francis Avenue.
All right, good morning. And our first remote location this morning is at Allen Correctional Center. And I would like for the staff, please to introduce yourself for the record.
Good morning, I'm Deputy Warden Brent Thompson.
Assistant Warden Crystal Simon.
Warden Keith Cooley.
Assistant Warden Jesse Bellamy.
Ramona Caesar, ARDC Manager. Sybil Ryder, ARDC Supervisor.
Assistant Warden Curly Victoria.
All right, thank you. Before we get started, we do have some business here to tend to, and that is review and approval from our minutes from our meeting December 18th.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes as written.
We have a motion by Mr. Prater to approve the minutes.
And I second.
We have a second by Mrs. Stapleton. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Thank you. And so our next agenda item, and we will allow public comment before any action item. Our next agenda item is consideration of applications for clemency and pardon. And our first case, as mentioned, is at Allen Correctional Center, and that is Mr. Rodney Scott. Good morning, Mr. Scott.
Morning.
Would you introduce yourself for the record? Tell us your name and your DOC number, please.
Yes, my name is Rodney Ray Scott, DOC 576277.
Yes, sir, Mr. Scott. And let me acknowledge we have here with us in Baton Rouge some folks who are here in support. We have Rodney Dawson, your son, Samuel Scott, son, Amari Brunage. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm sure I did. Your daughter, Lisa Scott, your wife, and Rashundra Johnson, another daughter. We have Samuel, Amari, and Lisa who will be speaking on your behalf. We'll ask them to do so at the appropriate time. First, Mr. Scott, we'd like for you to tell us why are you seeking a pardon request this morning? Why are you seeking a commutation of your sentence? And why do you think we should vote for you today?
Thinking of computation of my sentence, because I feel like right now I've served my time. If I've done enough right now to be considered released right now, I throughout these years it haven't been just cut and dry. It's been like a cloud of shame been on me over these years because it wasn't my actions that that was illegal. Those had nothing to do with my upbringing. That's why the shame is, because I was raised by I had a beautiful mother and father. They believed in doing right. They believed their two sons, they believed in they grew us up in the church. It was God-fearing people, law-abiding people. So I guess that's why I walk and live with a certain type of shame behind my actions. All my actions I've done, it had nothing to do with my upbringing. I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it at all, But one thing I do, what I've done, I take ownership of it. I don't sit back and say or think that I didn't do it, or they have me wrong or bad. They don't. This morning I take ownership of it, and I'm not going to allow this just to go unnoticed. I'm going to let this elevate me in life. Also, and once again I say I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of this at all, because I've brought a shame on to not only myself, but my family also. I'm not going to water this down and just say I made a mistake. I can't say that. I can't say it because that's a watered down version of it all. To make a mistake over and over, I can't say it because that would be something of foolish, and something that a fool would do, or someone in not in their right mind. And Lord knows I'm in my right mind. I'm in my right mind, and what I was doing, I was in my right mind then also, but I made a foolish decision that I did. My actions was foolish. And that error. I did multiple times, you know, and I did something I said I would never do. Me and my wife, we had established a beautiful trucking company, Scott and Sons Incorporated. And I always said I would never put anything that was illegal or wrong. I would never connect that with our business. And I went by, I backdoored on my word, and I did, you know, and this what happened. This was the results of it right here. I don't say it before you, you know, back in 19, I took pre-release, and Miss Aquila South. She was a facilitator. She used to be our chaplain here, and my spiritual advisor also. You know, we went through a segment where we could reach out to our victims. You know, and Miss Sapp and I said, no, she called me Bama. She said, Bama, I don't think you have a victim. You know, and for the ones of you who can reach out to them, you know, you could write something that we could see would it be appropriate with the courts. You know, at the time I was I fell into that I didn't have a victim until I gave it some thought, and I came back. I remember coming back to Miss Sapp and I say, Miss Sapp, you know, the love I have for people, I can't say that I have a victim of this crime. You know, I said I could sit here and say I didn't murder anyone, or I could say that I didn't rob anyone, I didn't rape anyone, I didn't burglarize anyone. I could honestly say that, but I can't say that my actions didn't cause some people to do that. The drugs that I had in my truck that I had brought back multiple times, once again, I'm not gonna cover it up. I can't say that those contribute to someone's mind thinking and cause them to commit those crimes. So I can't say that I don't have victims. You know, indirectly, I could have been directly the cause of someone to commit one of those crimes, you know. And if you look, I don't know where my family members are sitting right now, but those are some of my main victims right there. You know, it's like I cheated them. You know, my oldest daughter, Rashandra, I was blessed to be there to see her through school, to see her through high school. I was blessed, me and my wife, to see her start college. You know, I was blessed to see her make pledge. I was just proud, just very proud of my daughter, you know. But after I had gotten this trouble, it was time for me to come to courts. And after 3 years of fighting, it was time for me to pay my dues to society. And I wasn't there for graduation, you know, and it really, I know that, you know, it hurt her, you know, to not be able to be there, you know, to get her started in life after school, you know. My oldest son there, Rodney Jr., you know, I was there when he left and went to the military. You know, later on after the military, he went to war. He went to war and all. And after he came back for war, I wasn't there. I wasn't there to welcome him back home. The first time he see me, he had to come here to Allen Correction and visit his father. You know, and you know that was a shame on me, because I feel my father would have never failed me like that.
All right, so Mr. Scott, let me just, for the record, I didn't say this at the beginning, and before we hear from the warden and then your supporters, I wanted to say for the record, you are classified as a second felony offender. You're currently serving a 35-year sentence. You were sentenced as a habitual offender in St. Tammany Parish. You were sentenced October 18, 2010, and you're serving a 35-year sentence.
Right.
You do have a good time date, which is October 19, 2044, and you do also have a parole eligibility date, which is October 15, 2025. Does all that information sound accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'd like to hear from the facility. We'd like to hear from either Warden Thompson, Warden Cooley. What can you tell us about Mr. Scott?
Yes, ma'am. I can definitely say, Thunder Scott, he's what I consider to be a leader at this facility. He worked closely with our staff here. When I first got here, Warden Cooley and I had a sit-down discussion in regards to some offenders that would be considered to be leaders of the facility. And Scott was considered to be actually one of those guys. And I assure you, from day one, he's still that leader in my eyesight. He does a lot for the facility. He worked closely with the staff here. That goes a long way with us. And he's been doing a great job. and we really appreciate it.
Mr. Renats, I fully support Deputy Warden Thompson's comments. Scott has been, positive for the population here. I've known him for quite a time, and always presents himself as you see today. This is not a front. This is how he is day in, day out. And as Warden Thompson says, I fully support his comment.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you both. We appreciate your input. It's important. We're going to hear now from your family, Mr. Scott. And first, we'd like to hear from your wife, Lisa. Go ahead, ma'am. Introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know.
My name is Lisa Scott, and I would just like to say that, first off, I would like to say that I couldn't be no more proud of Rodney than I am of him today, the man that he's become. We've been married for 19 years, and neither one of us has been perfect, but I love the growth that I've seen in him. I love the work that he's put in to become a better person, to be a better father, to be a better husband, to be a better friend. He could have come here and just said, but he didn't. He chose to make a better life for himself. So when he's able to come home, that he's gonna be a better person for us. Our kids, they missed out on a lot of their dad being gone, but they get to see a better version of him. And they've already been able to see that what he did was wrong. Yes, very wrong. But he's also a good person. He really is a good person. He really has a good heart. And he really is a leader. And I really do believe that he's learned this. I really believe that he deserves a second chance. He deserves to prove to everyone that, people can change. And people can change and do the right thing. And I'm just very proud of him. I'm very, very proud of him. He's gotten his degrees while he's there. He's been a leader while he's been there. I'm proud of him. And I just really do believe that. And I pray that he's granted a second chance so that he could be home with his kids. Because they need him. There's a 91-year-old mother that she would be here today if she could. She could see. She has a really bad problem with seeing, and she's holding out for her son to come home. And just
Thanks for being here today. So we have a daughter and a son. I'll let the two of you decide who wants to go first. So just introduce yourself, sir, and tell us what you'd like us to know about your dad.
Samuel Scott, I just want to start off with saying that it's a blessing to be able to see my dad. It's been so long since I seen my dad's face. And just being able to talk to him means a lot. I have times where I go back and old pictures when I was a kid. I'm trying to remember those memories when we back at home. And I just want to say that I'm really, really proud of my father. He came a long way. Just like my mom said, he could have sat and just gave up. But he works hard, really hard to get to where he's at right now and make a change for himself. I don't agree with the things he did, but looking at my dad is motivation, right? Real motivation. And just seeing that he's not giving up on what he wants. And he's seeking to have that second chance in life because he knows that he can make a change for himself. Not only right now, but even when he does get out, he can make a bigger change for himself. And he has to be like strong as person. He came along with him. I'm really proud of him. I'm really proud of you. And it's really good to see you. And you making me happy right now. I'm really proud of you. I really am. That's what you want. I feel that him having a second chance is able to
Great, thank you. Well said, thank you. Amari, I'm sorry if I've mispronounced it. Would you
That's great.
introduce yourself, please?
My name's Amari. I'm the daughter of one of the daughters of Scott. My dad has been a very big impact on my life. Me and my sister are big daddy's girls. So when he left, it just like broke, like another piece was missing. But the man he is today, like, couldn't be more proud of him. Like, he's literally the biggest blessing in my life. He's never given up on me, and even though he's been incarcerated for so long, he never stopped being a dad. And that's the main thing, he never stopped being a dad. He wasn't able to see me go to high school, he wasn't able to see me graduate college. He wasn't able to see me obtain my state license, anything, but I did graduate this year with an MBA, and it just made me grow for him to be able to just see that in person. And I know his support is always there, but it just makes so much to just be able to just have him in his presence there. He's like my brother said, he's motivation. He didn't sit there, like he kept joining different programs. He's been like meeting other people there. I heard all about his leadership there. And regardless of what he did, like everyone else said, what he did was not okay, but I believe he deserves a second chance. So he really does. He's a really good man. Like it could be biased for me to say because I'm his daughter, but like that's really a good person. And my family, like, just been hurting for years and years, but he's been the one that's keeping us positive. And he's behind there. We're not, but he's the one that's been keeping us going. So it just means a lot for my dad to be able to get a second person. I mean, second chance.
Thank you. Very nice. All right, Mr. Scott, your case has been assigned to Mrs. Stapleton this morning, so would you answer her question, please?
Good morning, Mr. Scott. You have clearly a wonderful family support system,
Thank you.
and that's a privilege for anybody to be able to say that. You, as they said, and it's true, you have been involved with many programs that's offered. You've not let yourself sit still under no circumstances, and that's a wonderful thing to see. You haven't wasted your time. And you've been a valuable asset, I'm sure, to other people there, as the wardens pointed out. There's going to be other people talk about things, but it's not a pleasant subject for anybody when someone's trying to state a reason why they should be allowed out of prison, to look back into the past. Everybody wants to forget something in their past, but the past is what happened that brought you here today. And I know you're not denying anything, but I'm going back to prior to 2001 in Alabama. You had a criminal history there, all drug involved. You know where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell me about the man that was shot 3 times and it was said to be stemming from a drug transaction between you and him and another man?
Yes. The man that was shot, actually, we was friends. When the altercation came up between the two of us. And both of us had weapons. Both of us had weapons, and I shot. He was inside the car, driving away in the car when I did shoot. And the one that I had the altercation with, nothing hit him. The bullet hit was a bystander that he brought along with him. The bullet hit him. He was a bystander. And me and the bystander, we was friends. Even after I did the 5 years and I came home, we still we stayed friends. He was one of my first visitors that visited me, and we stayed friends. But I did do that. And it was, behind that, it was a altercation or dispute about some money that was owed, you know?
So he recovered from the gunshots.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And we're still friends to this day.
Okay. All right. I wanted to ask about that. And so then you're released. You served your 5 years and you're released. And that was in January of 2001. Am I correct? Is that what you right? So from 2001, and then you got rearrested. Is it 2007?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that this very large load
Yes, ma'am.
brought you with. So the way I read it was 5 kilos.
Yes, ma'am. It's true.
Was that worth about $150,000?
So saving. Yes, ma'am. Depends on, yes, ma'am.
Depends on who's buying, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
So here's what the person who prepared the record said. Mr. Scott is considered a second offender, even though he has a total of 4 felony convictions. So your past is strewn with drugs throughout it, way back. So what have you done while you've been in prison to rectify that? What kind of programs there? Because everything stems from that.
Programs relating to drugs?
Yeah, so that you won't go back to that because you were
yeah.
involved in it, did time for it, and then went straight back to it again.
And my celebrating recovery is one of them. Also, I was assisting I used to assist Miss Simeon out of Texas. She came here, she would teach us celebrating of recovery. I was one of the drug classes we took here, we taught. Also, Chaplain I have my records here. Living in balance, that's one. Now I'll tell you, I took living in balance also. We also have something called life in focus. Life in focus is kind of like a 12-step. It don't stop. It keep reviving. It keep reviving. Our chaplain here, Chaplain Ricky, he teaches it, and it keeps going. It never ends. But it's called Life in Focus. I've been in Life in Focus. I have multiple certifications in Life in Focus, and also the drug related too. We have another program.
So I tell you what, why don't you just tell me overall what you think you've gotten out of the classes that you know that you will.
These years here, the people I've seen here and the guys I've worked with, I've ministered to, I've mentored to, the drugs I've seen in prison. Ma'am, I could say now, I hate drugs and I hate anybody who affiliate themselves with that now. The hurt I've seen, some of the sentences I've seen young men come into the program with, some of the mind frames I've seen men with here. Well, it's no way that I could go back into the drug world because it devastated my life. It devastated my family's life, and that's no way I can continue to do that.
Well, you served approximately half of your sentence.
Yes,
The way I get it, is that what you have? So, and you're eligible for parole eligibility date of 10/15/25,
Yes, ma'am.
which is pretty soon from now, which would be what we would offer. What are you looking for today? What would you like to have happen for you today?
Ma'am, I was looking for early parole as of today. My wife mentioned my mother. I have a 91-year-old mother. I promise. My mother always would tell me, "Mama's gonna be here when you get home. She's gonna be here when you get home." It was a promise I made to my father. I promised my father when he went to be with the Lord. I promised him that I will always be there for my mother, and I haven't been there. And my mother now, she turned 91 last Tuesday, and she's getting very weak now. She's getting very weak now. It went from "Mama's gonna be here when you get out, baby," until "Mama be glad when you come home" now. It's just like any man, I'd love to hold my mother one more time.
I understand. I really do. I understand. I don't mean to cause you or your family any more heartache. Okay, does anyone else have some more questions?
I got a couple.
Okay, Mr. Freeman.
Okay, do you still have your trucking company by any chance?
No, sir, I sold all my trucks. I sold the equipment. My wife, she continued to run the business for approximately about 3 to 4 years. It became just too much for her, and I sold all my equipment.
Okay, what are you gonna do when you get out? Do you have any?
We're gonna be working at B-Side. Excuse me, I'm sorry. B-Side Detail for John Robinson. He's been in the business over 30 years. Some of the references he has is Jasper Auto Sale in Jasper, Walker County School Board, Jasper, Carl Cannon Clark County Chevrolet. He's been in business, with those companies for many years. So Jasper, his beachside detail is where I'm gonna be working at, you know?
Okay, and I just want to state that I saw you had no write-ups at all.
No, sir.
18 years, that's pretty good. I'm sure Warden Cooley's proud of that, because that's a good accomplishment. I have no further questions.
All right. Any questions?
Not really, because, I mean, I want you and your family, y'all understand that what we do today, we would have to send to the governor. Is that not correct?
That's correct.
Chairman? And that will take a long time. Your better avenue, because of your support and because of your family and all that, is gonna be for a parole. As soon as your eligibility date comes in a few months. I know you want to get out today, but the governor wouldn't even get it before your parole eligibility date, if I'm not mistaken. And so I can't speak for all the board, but I congratulate you on the progress that you've made. You know, and I won't say how I'd vote if it was a parole hearing, but it would be might be different than what I'll vote today. But I want you to wait until you're eligible for parole in a few months and then come back before us, and we can make a quick decision that will impact you a lot quicker than the decision that you're asking for today. I want to congratulate you for what you've done, for realizing that selling drugs is not a victimless crime. And I was going to ask you about that, but you brought it up, and you realize how bad that is to 5 kilos of cocaine, how many lives that would ruin. You see that now, and so I congratulate you. When you go to work for Beachside Detail, from my many years of working narcotics, and I'm not saying anything about Beachside because I don't know these. I mean, I'm sure they're good, reputable folks, but you know as well as I do that detail shops sometimes are places that are illegal activity can occur around, and you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
And so that's all I'll say, and that's not to denigrate these folks, because, you know, I'm sure they're upstanding, and yeah, I would use them myself if I lived in Jasper, Alabama. So I'm not saying anything about them. I just want you to be careful. I've said too much, more than I needed to say, but the bottom line is whatever you don't get today, you might get around the corner.
All right, thank you, Mr. Prater. I think we're ready to vote. Mrs. Stapleton?
Yes, sir. You heard everything that, Mr. Prater just said. That's very true. And I agree with what he said, that your best option is to wait for your parole eligibility date where you could come before the parole board and it wouldn't be sent to the governor. Do you agree with that? Do you think that's better for you personally? Okay, so my vote today is not to grant, but to wait until,
Just denied.
okay, to deny.
Mr. Prater?
Denied.
Mr. Freeman?
My vote is to commute your sentence to 20 years and immediate eligibility for parole.
All right, Mr. Scott, I want to also commend you. You have a beautiful family, wonderful support, very positive remarks by Warden Cooley and the staff there. We don't see that a lot, so you should be really proud of you. I'm proud of you for the work you've done. I do agree with everything Mr. Prater said. I think your best option is the parole eligibility. We'll have to go through this process again. It's not as rigid as what happened today, but that should be coming up pretty quickly. So because of that reason, my vote is to deny your application for clemency, because all I would have recommended for clemency would be a parole eligibility. You already have that. But don't get discouraged. I mean, I think you're going to get a good outcome. I really do when you come up for parole. And that hearing should be scheduled in the pretty near future. So good luck to you, sir. Yeah, that concludes our business there at Allen. So we're going to sign off at 9:38. Good luck, Mr. Scott. We'll see you again real soon.
Thank you, ma'am.